call this meeting to order at 6:01. Can everyone please stand for the flag salute?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, indivisible, and justice.
Okay, next up is roll call, so just say here or present if you're here or present. Commissioner Abande,
Here.
Commissioner Francis, Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner
Wait,
Nguyen.
hold on.
Commissioner Nguyen, here, Commissioner Ortega.
Here.
Commissioner Rodriguez, here, Commissioner Romero, here, Commissioner Sarath.
Here.
And Commissioner Lai, here, and Commissioner James.
And you are.
Can I get a secretary's report?
Yes, the meeting packet was published on October 10th, 2020.
Okay, next, can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the meeting on September 9th, 2024?
I motion to approve the meeting minutes of September 9, 2024.
Can I get a second to that motion?
Second the motion for September 9, 2024.
Okay, motion by Nguyen, Commissioner Nguyen, and I seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez. So then starting from that end of the table, can you say aye if you're in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 So the motion passes with a vote of 8-0 to.
Technically, I found this out on the paper. It's 800 because the two that are not here, they're not abstaining, they're absent.
Oh, I see. Okay, so 8-0-0. Introductions.
Actually, we do have introductions. We have a commissioner who just got sworn in 4 minutes ago. You want to introduce yourself?
My name's Sophia Romero.
Grade, school,
Oh,
something about
I'm
you?
a senior and I go to Christopher High School. Is there any public comment on items not on the agenda? Okay, new business. And then old business is to discuss and adopt the plan for 2025. And then do I go straight to staff report? Okay, can I get a staff report, please?
Yes, so, if you recall from last month's meeting, you had the opportunity to discuss what the work plan for the school year is going to look like. And so, we came up with a lot of ideas and they are in your staff report. I'm also going to put them up on the monitors to put them out. So basically, they kind of fell into one of three categories. You had the legislative component. And that basically means the policy aspect of it, or perhaps like a memo. This involved the possibility of creating a Gilroy Youth Center, which the commission actually had worked on, not last year, but the year before, where they proposed that because Gilroy lacks one, that there's a need for it, explain why. They talked about how the other neighboring communities have one, and this is what it looked like. They also discussed, or you also discussed, the environment, the need for the, you know, for more policies to help, the environment, whether it involved recycling, using specific materials, turning it into art, trash pickup day. I forgot what that was all about. Maybe you guys could jog my memory. And there was an organization, if you recall, I think it was at the very first meeting, the American Association of University of Women. There was a representative here who had said specifically, if you're interested in incorporating the environment into your work plan, we would be interested in working with you. And I did get a little bit more information from them recently. They had said that they are thinking of hosting an Earth Day event, perhaps at Christmas Park for the entire community. And they would love it if the Youth Commission were involved with that. But there's also a legislative aspect to this. You could recommend a policy, perhaps, again, just an example, but say you wanted to ban styrofoam cups, the use of styrofoam cups for all businesses and government organizations within the city of Louisville. And you could do some research, find out what other cities have done, how did they incorporate it, and what would it take for that to happen? And you would draft a memo explaining the pros, the cons, and making a recommendation to the city council. So that was your legislative. Community events. So this, so Breakfast with Santa, I think I had explained this at the onset, but just as a reminder, so this is an annual event that the Gilroy Recreation Division does every year. Last year, the commission helped. They were actually in this room. They did some craft projects, decorated holiday cookies. They got to have breakfast. They got to hang out with Santa. It's a lot of fun, and it's just one morning. I want to say it's the first Saturday in December. And so that's something that we can get involved with. Also, Senior Tech Week. Does anyone want to talk about Tech Week? We did it last year.
I mean, it was pretty much just a week where there were like a lot of the people, like a lot of seniors in that room over there. And then like I think I went with Alfred, and then we just kind of sat there. The seniors would come up to us and then just show us any problems that they had with their electronics, especially because a lot of them got them for Christmas, and so they didn't know quite just how to use them. So we were there to help out.
Great. And then lastly, for events is the Opportunity Teen Fair, which the commission was involved with last year. They had over 25 businesses and organizations and government agencies who were there tabling, promoting their job opportunities, internships, and volunteer opportunities for teens in Gilroy. And then I forgot who had said it, but someone had recommended, what if we opened it to like another aspect that affects teens, which is applying to college, having organizations there to help with scholarships and perhaps workshops, professionals presenting, things about their careers. That we would have to kind of elaborate, what does that mean? What would that entail? And then of course, another event was I didn't write it in, but it's the Earth Day events, if you wanted to do that. For the events though, they take up, as everyone knows, a lot of time. So I would only recommend one of it, would not recommend two events. Yeah. Anyway, so that is the report. Are there any questions?
Adam, when you spoke to the representative from the University Women
Yes.
Organization, and they expressed interest in hosting an Earth Day event or doing something at Christmas Park, they would be more the lead in organizing that event, and then they would collaborate and partner with the youth commission.
We didn't even get to that
Okay.
detail. They just mentioned they were interested in having a Earth Day event. The specifics did not, they did not get into the specifics.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's definitely, if we end up going that route, that would be definitely the first question.
Do I go to public comment?
Yes,
Is there any public comment?
there is.
Okay, and then possible action, so the commission will discuss and motion to approve the fiscal year 2025 youth commission work plan. How do we like go about this?
So if you recall, the chair did last month was, we formed small groups.
Mhm.
So you could do 3, and 2, and then talk about it with your partners and then kind of report out to the group what you discussed. Or since there's only 9 or 8 of you, I mean, you could go one by one and share your comments, your thoughts, and then try to see where the consensus is. Because ultimately that's the goal for today, is that we need to adopt it. It's October. It's time to get started.
Okay, how about we just split into like 3, 3, 2, and then for maybe 3 minutes?
Yeah.
And
that's
then
good.
we just discuss like what we kind of researched this month, and then kind of like our top ideas from last month's meeting. Let me set the timer. Okay, go ahead.
Some,
I thought.
any thoughts that anyone?
Yeah. Next year, we're having a little bit more small events, because when I went last year, the entire thing was about the opportunity fair. And so it was all about that, that was a lot of stuff, and although I do want to hire I think we should have an opportunity fair, but also a lot of little smaller. So that it's not just entirely working.
Yeah, I really like the idea of like.
Yes. Yeah. So it's just-
I'm also on the. I think maybe for the children. And I was wondering if we could maybe work something where we get the voices from all the schools. So that we can have a better understanding of what people in our community want. The youth want.
Definitely, because, here also, this is breakfast. Also, one thing but when we went to other commission gatherings, we heard about other towns and stuff like.
Opportunity to
Like
get
the little thing like
that's really like.
I think ours was.
Maybe we could like kind of
Like
combine
that
that
with
like
the day. I think that was the next one.
That way it's not like a separate event for them and it's. But yeah, I like when you said about like, and I really got like, so it's more like, in the works, and like, have to finish it. But I like with your building of the works. Yeah. It's really effective.
Probably like.
All we do are.
I
think
It's not very, like, that there, like, I think it's like less than years, and then like also. How would you like, involving the district, so I think it's also.
Because like the district, can send out like surveys and schools, you could either make it like something that's optional where people can let their voice be heard. Or like one like representatives, a lot of.
That's why it comes.
Yeah.
We have asked like reach out to
Rather than.
the school and like, assembly or something to propose something of this sort. I don't know how exactly. Could just let the student body know that you are able to reciprocate what they're trying to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
is everyone done? Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we start from you guys and just like give us like a rough summary of what you guys talked about.
So we mainly talked about adding in a few smaller events along with Opportunity Fair. Because although the Opportunity Fair was great, we also liked the idea of adding a few other things throughout the year. So that the entire year that our work plan is, it's not all coordinated on one exact day. And also we brought up maybe involving some of the districts to get outside opinions, like perhaps sending a survey through them to get to know what they're considering.
So our group, we just talked about,
Hey, can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
On that last, you say the districts, what do you mean with the school districts?
Yeah.
And considering,
Like maybe, plans like, would you rather have stuff like this or this or this? Maybe if we're coordinating an event in the Opportunity Fair, we could reach out and see if they have any new ideas that they might want to include.
so we all said that we should have the Opportunity event again this year, just because last year's vendors were all saying like, oh yeah, you guys should have it again. And so yeah, we should have that, and then, Commissioner Rodriguez was saying that is rather than maybe having like, a policy like kind of instated, this year, maybe we have like a proposition or proposal. So rather than, I guess something that should be done within our year. It's just kind of in progress. Yeah, a resolution, and then I was saying that we could work maybe with the AAUW, to kind of, um, also like with the, resolution, we could work with them to, kind of propose something, rather than having them separate to the legislation that we might pass. We could kind of combine those. So yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
What were you thinking with regards to the proposal resolution, like in terms of like ideas, like? what were-
I don't have anything specific in mind, but we could work with them and see like what kind of comes about. Did you have anything?
Maybe like, 'cause they were like geared towards like the environmental, maybe sort of create like resolution or like a proposition geared more towards like the environmental like areas, like how you suggested, like maybe banning like styrofoam machines like that, support that area. But I think Commissioner I also suggested another possibility could be like looking towards creating a youth center.
Okay, wait, so, for us, we said, keep everything, opportunity, except the, trash pickup day. Because a lot of people are like doing it, and she said that there's a club at her school doing it. And I know, like, in my neighborhood and stuff, there's a lot of people just like having events like around the city and neighborhood for trash pickup. And it's not, I mean, it's not like, it's not worth it, but a lot of people are already doing it, and I don't see it being that much like worth, like, I feel like it would be like a whole meeting, and I don't think it would be worth a entire meeting. And also, the opportunity fair, like she said, a lot of the vendors did say that they wanted it last year, I mean, to be repeated again this year. And, senior tech week and breakfast center, that went well last year too, so doing that again would be more like beneficial kind of. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so it sounds like, just from what I'm hearing, the community events, it sounds like everyone's in favor of. Sounds like the opportunity team fair, it sounds like the commission wants to bring it back. Where it's a little murky is on the environment. And one thing I noted in this report, and I had said it last month, is the city council really wants some sort of policy, it could be a resolution.
Yeah, it could be a resolution, it could be a program or a policy or something that initiates from the youth commission. That would be a change to something that's either not in place now or, bringing something more current. As it relates to, the environment or some other aspect. But the youth center, I think what I think would be good for the commission to do would be to maybe prepare something leading into our next 2-year budget process, because we will be working on our next 2-year budget in the spring. And the council doesn't approve it until June of 2025. So that would be like the end of this term for this commission. But it's still okay to keep, sometimes it's good to repeat and to just keep going back to the council saying this is important to us and we don't want you to lose sight of it. And, if there are resources, we would like to see it go to this. I think that's a very good message coming from this commission. So I think that that's appropriate for the commission to do. And that's when the council is making decisions about where the money goes. And if there are available resources to use, to build a youth center, that's when they talk about those kinds of things and how to plan for that. But that to me is maybe just a reiteration of what the commission already communicated a year ago. Just to keep it in fresh, to keep it in the forefront of their mind. That's good. But separate from doing something, maybe with a UW, some type of initiative to make some sort of change that benefits the environment, or some other change that would benefit youth in
I was wondering, like, proposing like the
Then does that count as like a legislative like policy or like that's?
That would be separate. Cause there was already research done a year ago by the commission and then a presentation made to the council. So that's already been done. And now it's just kind of there, knowing it's a need. The council's identified it as a need. But it's the millions of dollars that are needed to build the youth center. And so how do they, that's a budget decision, so that's where it would be time for the, good time just to remind them of that priority coming from this commission. But until there's resources identified, there's not a lot that can happen on that, because it's so expensive to build.
So it would not count, it would not fulfill the legislature.
No,
Because it's already, unless,
already been
unless there was a new twist to the existing, I don't know what it would be, but,
yeah. But until there's, funding identified for it and the council gets into a place where, we're putting it into the capital improvement program and there's gonna be, input needed, then I think there's another role for the youth commission to be involved in that planning process, but that's down the road until something more definitive is there in the way of funding.
so to answer your question, no. What else? This is now your time for full-on discussion. We have nothing else on the agenda, so, and remember, whatever the work plan that you adopt is going to be with you all year. And for those of you who are seniors, this is it, so. What is it that you want to do? Is there a cause that you're passionate about? Because it seems like this is kind of the one area that hasn't been obviously solidified. I mean, environment, climate change, composting, recycling, materials that are hazardous. There's all sorts of things. Solar panels.
I feel like maybe we could like bring in like how a certain change can help like sustain and like protect our like local ecosystems. Maybe we could look a little more into that and like what like our city is doing and like how it's affecting the local environment and how we can like improve sort of. Maybe we can make like a policy based on that to help improve it.
Do you have something more specific in mind?
Yeah, like for example, like native plants, like I hear some native plants are becoming endangered, like here, especially in California. And sort of making like a program to help, protect those species and seeing like, for example, if that involves like banning a certain product or having like less of something, then maybe looking more into that.
Yeah, or maybe not building in certain areas where they would naturally grow. That would be a great, that's a good example of what we're talking about, is taking something that is in need and forming some sort of policy or program.
And is there a native plant in Gilroy that's becoming endangered, if you will, and, should be preserved in some way?
So it would require research, it would, maybe contacting scientists, researchers, professionals who are in this area. And then again, figuring out how to move forward with this. Yeah, that would definitely work. Does anyone else have another idea?
Well, it wasn't really towards the environment. I realized that a lot of this stuff takes a lot of people and money to get going. That's why I really thought that involving the district was a good idea, because that gives us like access to a lot of the youth within our community, to actually get more people and more resources on board to be able to execute some of these bigger things that we're trying to achieve.
What else? Anything else?
Maybe we could like have like a weekend or something where we like build like a bunch of these like kiosks kind of, where you put like trash in which they're, I mean, not trash, but like plastics and things that like go to making the city more sustainable. Like we could have build like have a weekend or two of building those and then put them around the city, like a couple in downtown and by the parks and stuff. And then we could go and collect them and I know someone that could recycle for like free and then we could make them into art like up here. But I feel like that might help out.
That would be good, except we're looking more for like
Like the ones.
a legislative, when we say legislative, some sort of policy. Something that you're gonna write down, maybe it's 2 or 3 pages, it's gonna have some research, it's gonna form an opinion. It's gonna explain why it's important, why is it relevant to Gilroy, maybe how it impacts youth. But I like to.
You know, keeping the environment clean and keeping the community clean benefits everybody in the community, including you, especially at our parks. We want the parks to be clean for those that use the parks and things. And I've done a lot of the fight dirty cleanup days where we got pick up trash. The volume of things that we pick up, I mean, in certain areas it really varies, but so many water bottle caps. Water bottle caps are everywhere. And people just open a bottle of water and just throw the cap down. And those caps just enter our environment and enter our waterways and they're everywhere. The other thing we picked up a lot, straws. Plastic straws, they're just everywhere and they don't break down. So they stay in the environment for a really long time. So some places have stopped using straws. And you can see the Starbucks cup that's got the sippy lid as opposed to a straw. So it eliminates those straws. Some cities have gone to paper straws and the restaurants are not allowed to have plastic straws anymore. They can only distribute paper straws if straws are gonna be distributed at all. And they're made from a material that breaks down and sometimes they're soggy when you taste them. So they're not really super attractive. So a lot of people don't use them because they don't really care for that, but it really helps the environment because straws get everywhere and they get into the waterways and affect a lot of things in the environment. So, you know, just there's so many different things that where this could go. But it takes a big effort to research it, come up with a plan, maybe even involving, you know, the Association of University Women, maybe, you know, partnering with them because they can help with some of the research and also being a voice, when, you know, this, you know, needs further support because it's not necessarily going to always be received super well by certain businesses, that it's easy for them to, or it's cheaper for them to buy this than this, even though it all ends up, you know, in the trash and it doesn't break down. So just things to think about.
Like going off of what she said, so in archery it's this like tiny like plastic thing that goes on the end of the air. And they break off really easily, and a lot of people, they just like throw them on the ground, like because they're so tiny, they think it's like not that much of the impact. But we had a research thing at our company where basically there's so many of them, as we have like over 1,000 photos of just these tiny things. So a water bottle lid, it's like 2 times the size of the little plastic thing. And I don't know how many they're getting, but just recycling those, like just the tiny like archery things, that's enough to like just like 100 or 1,000 can make like a toy for a little kid. So recycling the water bottle caps, that would help out in cleaning the community and also like giving back. So yeah, and I know a supplier that would like that gives us like this tiny box, like where we could put it around for, I don't know the price, but it's like a small like aluminum box that you can like put around the city, and he has like hundreds of them, and I know what price he'll give it to me for, but it's we can it's already made, so we won't have to wait for the manufacturing time, and we could put it around.
So if I'm understanding, so let's say you have the bottle cap, put it in this box. When the box is filled with bottle caps, then
Then we could have I could, like, we have a little company, we could go around and collect them like every week, like, we have one, a lid thing in Camino Coffee. And we go like once a week and collect the little lids and recycle them. So we could probably, if there's like 10 or 20 of the cases around the city, we could probably go like once a week and collect them every week.
How do you make that sustainable long term? How do you make that a long-standing change in the, so that those don't end up on the ground? Because you're not gonna be here forever to go around collecting these little cats. So how does that happen long term?
If.
And you don't have to have the answer. I'm just trying to food for thought,
Right.
how do we,
Mhm.
think this out for the long term?
Yeah. Maybe going off of what you said earlier about how like businesses, like sometimes they make choices because like it's cheaper, maybe we could sort of like do all of this research first and then come to like a conclusion, like whether it be like either banning a certain type of material or maybe like incentivizing like, businesses to adopt a more environmentally friendly way, sort of doing our research first to see what solution has better outcomes or like yields better results and then make a policy based off of that.
And some other cities have done this, other youth commissions have taken on some of these different initiatives in different cities around us. So that could be part of the research too, to see what worked, what hasn't worked.
I mean, contact the commissions, you could set a meeting with them.
Maybe we should also contact like the AAUW just to like kind of see what they can do about like the legislation that we might pass.
Mhm.
And like kind of see even like what we can or what they can do in terms of like our plans.
And maybe sharing with them a few ideas that you guys have talked about here, to include, something with native plants, something with banning certain products or trying to get local businesses to buy into some sort of change. So, and see if there's something that they're interested in that would make for a good partnership.
If not, then we can also put you in touch with other people in the environment industry who would be.
And if they're super interested in doing an Earth Day event, I was telling Adam, we had our studio, that, we just hired a new environmental programs manager at the city, because there are so many environmental compliance issues that the city has to take action on and deal with, that we finally kind of reached this place where we needed to hire our own employee that's managing that. And we also partnered with the city of Morgan Hill in sharing services related to, environmental compliance. And so, maybe, those team members get more involved in sort of the organizing and planning of an Earth Day event with AAUW. But maybe whatever topic you all pursue, or, if you are working on something, maybe not to be planning a whole nother event, but maybe you have a table at their event to promote whatever your environmental topic is, and have a presence as a youth commission at the event. So it doesn't mean that you have to take on the whole event, but you can still be present at the event. Because I know the council was, at least one or two council members were sort of disappointed that we didn't have it. We would have some.
Last year.
Last year or year before, I can't remember which.
But not the youth commission.
No, just the city,
They
The
love
city, how come the city's not organizing an Earth Day event? Morgan Hill's doing Earth Day event, why are we doing Earth Day event?
Okay, so let me just put something up. So what you could do tonight is propose and adopt a work plan that includes some of the areas that seems like everyone's in agreement. Bringing back opportunity fair, doing the tech week and it doesn't have to be a week, but it could be a day here, a day there, like maybe when you don't have school. breakfast with Santa. And then what you could do for the legislative component is adopt, identify an environmental issue, make policy out of it, create a policy proposal, resolution. And then between now and say the next meeting, you do some homework, which you haven't had to do yet, and all that would mean is, I can provide the contact information for the AAUW. You could set up a meeting, maybe at Camino Coffee, and, and just see what they have to say. Now, of course, for quorum purposes, all of you cannot go to this meeting, it would just be, well, technically, it could be up to 5, I would recommend. And then, someone else, another group can look into a different issue. About native plants. You can look into that. There's another environmental issue.
Or maybe another small group just looks at different environmental, initiatives that other youth commissions around the state have worked on. Just to maybe get ideas flowing and get juices flowing.
And it's easy. All you do is you Google Youth Commission in the news section, Google News. This is what I did when I was showing you some examples. Youth commissions, and then did like policy, some sort of topic. Government. Yeah, environment. And then you're gonna get a lot of hits from all over the country. And it's kind of interesting to see what the youth commissions are doing. So. Anyways, that is an idea.
Well, that's a way to address the legislative area, kind of break it down into, three different areas to gather more information and then refine it at your next meeting. But what you would be adopting is that you are going to do something in the legislative area.
And perhaps it sounds like within the environment, something to do with the environment, specifically what identify at the next meeting. But it will require that you do some homework outside. Not a lot, shouldn't take too long, but a little effort.
Do I have to like motion?
Well, yeah, someone can make a motion if they want to move forward with that, or if you have another thought or idea.
Does anyone have like anything other than kind of approving the work plan with like opportunity and like some volunteering events? And then having our like legislation like area just in progress for now. Anyone have anything else?
Okay, so does someone want to make a motion?
Does someone want to make a motion to approve the 2025 commission work plan?
And when you make the motion, you're gonna explain what it is, which basically Vice Chair Bayer. Just
I motion to adopt the 2025 work plan, which constitutes bringing back opportunity, the breakfast with Santa, the tech week, in addition to sort of creating like a proposition or like researching more on like the environment and possibly creating a policy based off that research.
Does anyone want to second that motion?
I second to adopt the 2025 work plan that encompasses bringing back the opportunity involving ourselves in like smaller events that we can plan, and then also like proposing a legislative like policy that we can people like centered around.
And then starting from Commissioner Romero, can you just say aye if you approve the fiscal year 2025 new commission work plan?
Aye.
Hi,
Aye. Okay, so motion by Commissioner Rodriguez and seconded by Commissioner Lai, 2025 youth commission.
passes 8-0.
8-0 to 0.
Yes. Congratulations. Okay, before we move on, let's just identify who will do what. before the next meeting. So one of the ideas was to meet up with the AAUW. So is there a group of commissioners who'd like to do that? Like I said, I recommend, not everyone is here too, by the way. For those who are here. Someone wanna facilitate that, and I'll give you their contact information, and then we can start.
Would it have to be like in person or can it be like?
I mean,
Zoom.
yeah, you can do Zoom if you want. They seem very nice.
I might be able to, but it just depends on like the day.
Yeah, so
Like, you'd be
that's,
able to organize that.
that's part of the
Yeah.
process, so you've got a month. You've got
Yeah,
a month, you just have to find a day and time that works.
Mhm.
You can meet here. You know, it doesn't have to be at a coffee shop, you can be
It
here.
would just be reaching out to them, and talking to them about the meeting, what the meeting would entail. Picking a date and time for the meeting, getting them to agree to that, and then just being present at the meeting to talk it through.
so yeah, I can meet with them, and then if anyone else wants to. Again.
I can join along too.
Okay. Okay, so that was one, and then another one that was mentioned was researching what other youth commissions are doing, so this will help kind of put together the framework, how it would work, you know, like, this is what this youth commission did. Here are the
Environmental kind of
That's it,
effort,
that's related to the environment.
who wants to be on that group.
And so Emily,
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'll do it too.
okay. Drew. And we do have some missing commissioners, so we'll talk about them in a moment. And then for the third component, I mean, since you didn't specifically identify an environmental issue per se, that could be that area, like what is real pressing issue that would be relevant to Gilmore, you know, so. You know.
Okay. Are you okay? And then like it just came out of Oh, you were definitely stressed off, like your brain just were done. That just happened like it's person. Wait, so like, are we not doing this thing, right? Not, I think, yeah, then like, you like the presentation. Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you guys could send a letter. I think you could send a letter for the budget. So it can be under the legislative area, like they also wanted to do a letter for the youth commission for the budget process, just to keep it in
Okay. Or youth center,
the youth center.
sure, youth center. Yes. Okay. Is anyone interested in that? Or is that,
No, that was a separate.
that's a separate, okay,
You were kind of talking about different pressing issues that would be applicable in Gilbert.
correct, correct, so. This would just be another committee, they can work independently, they can work together.
I could work on that. Would it be like, providing like different options or would it be just selecting like one thing?
Different options.
Okay, so just, okay.
So like if you want native plants, that research might be one of those things on that list that you brought earlier.
Okay, now,
So what's unique to Gilroy? What's getting impacted in Gilroy? That could be one idea.
Jacob, Sophia, are you,
I can also do that.
okay, great.
And then, Commissioner James and Commissioner Francis aren't here. Commissioner Garcia, so we have to add them. Commissioner Garcia and
Commissioner
Commissioner James.
James, Yeah, what I can do is reach out to them and see what they'd be interested in.
Maybe we just add them
Two
to
group?
one of these two groups and because I think the three for the meeting with the AEW is good.
Okay, let's see here.
Okay, yeah.
It's so weird. It's like
There's
blue.
Okay, I'll offer them one of those two options usually. Yeah.
Can we go to staff and commissioner comment?
Oh, and just one more thing. So what I'll do is either tomorrow or the next day, I'll send out an email. So please check your email. You also have access to your city email. If you don't, let me know. We can reset your password. I'll do kind of a summary of what we've discussed and then steps for, to move forward before the next meeting. So come prepared for the next meeting. And if you're not sure what you're supposed to do, contact me, but don't contact me 5 minutes before the meeting. Okay.
Is there any staff or commissioner comment?
The only thing is, you have the date,
I don't know if I have that on my calendar. Let me just.
I just heard in passing.
I was asked for names, for
Yeah,
commissions,
but
but that was it.
Okay, actually, I'm not even gonna mention because I don't have any. No, nope.
Okay, so I adjourn the meeting or not? I have a question. Is there like a platform that we can use to communicate with each other besides like email?
No. No. So the commission did this a long time ago and we had to put something. So because of the Brown Act,
Mhm.
you can't. That's why you can be in groups of three and no more. And then being in those groups of three, don't share that information with the other commissioners. Okay,
Mhm.
so which group are you in?
The first one.
The AUW one?
Yeah.
Okay, so however it goes, wait until the meeting to report to everyone else.
Mhm.
Don't, if you see Dan May here, oh, hey, guess what we talked about? And technically you wouldn't be violating the Brown Act, if that's only one person, but then what if Dan May tells Baru? And then Baru sees Sophia, and now all of a sudden, the majority of the commissioners are privy to something that is current on the agenda. So that's what you wanna avoid.
In our group of three, can we like share a document or something or like?
Yeah.
Yes, so stay within your group of three and you're fine,
Okay.
all right? And I think you're in two groups, right? Okay.
I won't cross.
Yeah, don't cross pollinate. If you have any questions ever about that, come see me, I'll be more than happy to explain it in this. But great question. Ruth.
This is a question about like the trash days and the supposed like environment stuff days. I'm not sure if this was already assumed, but I think it would be a great idea when we do that to make sure we spread it, especially throughout school. Because like I know a lot of people in my school, is of course, who would love to get any volunteer hours. So I think a lot of people everywhere.
Okay, great. And one of the things you can do, because you are the youth commission, is you could get the schools involved in the policy. So yes, you're technically reaching the city council, but maybe the school board might be open to your suggestion too. Because they function differently than the city, the city doesn't have like full jurisdiction over the school district. They're their own little agencies as well. So just something.
Any other comment?
Comments, questions? No?
And if we did wanna like bring up something during the next meeting, could we just like email you to get it put on the agenda?
Yeah, if it's related to the work plan, it's already there. Okay, so unless it falls outside of that, yes, and someone, actually an outside agency did contact me actually earlier today, since it's too late for tonight, about wanting to present something at the next meeting, so stay tuned. So occasionally you will receive a presentation or something, that's not on the related to the work.
Okay, if there's no other staff or commissioner comment, I adjourn this meeting at 6:51 PM.
Thank you, Vice Chair.
Good job.
Mm.
Thank you, everyone.